WSAV News 3 at 5:30.
Tonight, we take you to Memorial Day tributes in the Lowcountry as we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
And a local flower shop making its own unique tribute to military members. We tell you what Pink House is giving to servicemen and women and veterans.
Memorial Day marks the unofficial start to the summer, and boating is a common activity chosen to beat the heat. Find out what the Coast Guard says are the best ways to stay safe.
But first, let's take a live look outside now from our Dozier Law Cam. Pretty nice day out there on River Street, but it is a hot one. Meteorologist Lee Haywood is in for Chris tonight with a first look at the forecast. Lee.
All right, Ben and Trish, yeah, pretty nice weather over most of the coastal empire and low country, although over the last hour or two, beginning to notice slightly better conditions for the development of showers and thunderstorms over far interior southeastern Georgia. Right now in Wheeling County, we're seeing a developing shower with a few rumbles of thunder moving through your area. It is moving to the northeast at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Tracking it, it's going to be toward Alston as we go into 606. 626 going to be near the potential area of Vidalia. So again, a few lightning strikes, maybe some gusty winds as this system develops and moves to the northeast. It is hot inland of the coast. Look at this, 98 degrees still at this hour in Waycross, 94 Hinesville. Now along the immediate coast, you've been cooled by the sea breeze. Middle and upper 80s on the Atlantic shore, 84 right now Hilton Head Island, but we're still at 93 for Hampton. So the forecast this evening, most areas would be on the rain-free side, but as you go further north of Interstate 16, a chance for a few showers or storms, and overnight lows dropping into the 70s. More on that wetter weather pattern for the upcoming week in just a little bit.
All right, Lee, thank you. We will see you in a few minutes. In the Lowcountry this Memorial Day, Bluffton hosted two special ceremonies to honor our fallen soldiers. News 3's Stassi Olmos was there.
For me, the anguish was not having shot someone, but not being able to save them all. I used to hold anger and resentment close to my heart, but I found I was putting the focus on the wrong thing. I should be remembering the bravery, the kindness, the humor, and the love for one another.
This Memorial Day, Bluffton raised the Stars and Stripes to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Today is the most important day, I think, of all the Veterans Recognition Days, because we recognize those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, those who were not able to come home.
Robert Henry Finn, U.S. Army.
They rang the bell a few moments ago for folks who died here at Sun City in the last year who'd served their country. And the bell rang many times. I think that here on Memorial Day, it's a chance to remember those who paid the ultimate price, preserving the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans.
It's only befitting for us to give them honor, show them respect, and, prayer for their families.
The American Legion Post 205 and Sun City Veterans Association held ceremonies for family, friends, and fellow soldiers.
I was a Vietnam veteran, and this day is for me is to remember the guys who never came back. It's very sad and emotional at times. I lucked out, came home, raised a family, and the guys who didn't, some of the best men I ever met.
My husband was in the Marine Corps, and he's been gone for 9 years, and this is such a tribute to all the men, present and past.
The generation of soldiers who served with them in World War II, as well as all of the servicemen and servicewomen who are currently in and who have served, are always in our hearts.
So it doesn't matter what war you were in, you are still my boys, and now gals, and always will be.
In Bluffton, Stassi Olmos, WSAV News 3.
Well, today, tens of thousands of flowers and flags draped over headstones in cemeteries across the county. But here in Savannah, one florist wants to honor the service of the living. For Memorial Day, the Pink House florist prepped to give away 500 free roses to veterans and current service members.
Well, the owners of the store as well as the employees are very appreciative of our soldiers and their families, so we just want them to know that we want to give something back to them this time of the year.
They said they felt moved to do something to say thank you, and flowers made the best choice for the greatest impact.
The names of fallen soldiers were read aloud as Hinesville community members paid tribute during a Memorial Day ceremony. The program also featured a color guard, patriotic sounds, and a military jazz band. The commander of the 3rd Infantry Division, Major General Leopoldo Quintas, was the featured speaker. In his message, he encouraged everyone to enjoy the day, but never forget that it comes at a price.
And a good turnout for a remembrance ceremony at the annual Bonaventure Cemetery gathering today. The event is hosted by the American Legion Chatham Post 135. The group wants people to keep in mind Memorial Day is meant to honor soldiers who paid the ultimate price and to remember the sacrifice of their families. The ceremony included those who have served in all branches of the military.
President Trump honored U.S. military heroes at Arlington National Cemetery today. In his first Memorial Day speech, the president paid tribute to fallen soldiers and to the families they left behind. Mr. Trump also recognized the son of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, who was killed in 2010 while serving in Afghanistan.
A consumer alert today as the unofficial start to grilling season heats up. It's beef that reigns supreme for Memorial Day celebrations. According to data collected by Nielsen, sales of beef topped more than $778 million in the week surrounding Memorial Day last year. Beef was followed by chicken with sales of more than $362 million during the same time period. Pork came in third, followed by shrimp and salmon.
Many of you are heading to or hosting cookouts today. Food safety experts have some reminders that can keep you from getting sick. So before you take your steaks or burgers off the grill, it's best to use a food thermometer to ensure all meat is cooked thoroughly. Don't put cooked food on the same plate that held raw meat, and be sure to throw away any food that has been sitting out for longer than 2 hours.
It's also critical to protect your eyes from the sun's rays. Experts at Baylor College of Medicine recommend buying sunglasses that offer 100% UVAB protection, and the bigger the better. Larger sunglasses help cover the skin around the eye, which is a place where small skin cancers can develop over time.
Now that it's almost summertime, it's important to be smart about the sun. The American Cancer Society recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher, which should be reapplied every 2 hours. If you will be outside for a long time, you're asked to wear protective clothing or a hat and a 2 to 3 inch brim on that hat. But the best way to avoid a bad sunburn is to stay indoors in the middle of the day when the risk is the highest.
Starting our military report, the National Park Service offering free annual passes to military service members and their families all year long. The passes are available to current U.S. military members and dependents in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, as well as Reserve and National Guard members. The passes must be obtained in person at a federal recreation site by showing proper military ID or a common access card.
This Memorial Day holiday is a busy one for boaters, and the Coast Guard is on patrol keeping people safe. News 3's Andrew James reports.
It's the weekend to kick off the summer and kicks off boating season here across coastal Georgia, but it also can lead to a lot of extra calls for the men here at the U.S. Coast Guard. We go behind the scenes to show you guys what it's like to answer a call. It's one of many flights the Coast Guard is ready to make on one of the busiest weekends of the summer.
We're protecting the coast 365 days of the year, and that includes holidays, weekends, things like that. Memorial Day is a big holiday weekend for us. A lot of boaters out on the water. The weather's gorgeous today.
The Coast Guard on water and in air could clock in dozens of hours for search and rescues. They have a message for what boaters need to do to stay safe, but also be ready to be rescued.
It's a satellite tracker. It'll send a GPS position to our command centers in Charleston or Jacksonville. You can get them for a couple $100, and then you need to register them with NOAA.
A part of their boater safety summer mission, the Guard is asking those on the water to have devices like this tracker.
It can lead us right to you instead of having to search for you. It can really aid in the search and get the rescue crews to you a lot faster.
Even on our early morning ride, calls came in for people in the water in need of rescue. The Guard says simple safety measures can keep that from being a constant trend over the holiday.
Don't drink and boat. Boating under the influence is almost as illegal as driving under the influence and has the same dangers associated with it. So be safe, have a plan, let people know where you're going, and wear your life jacket.
And these boating safety tips don't just go for today, but throughout the holiday weekend, as the Coast Guard will be prepared to answer any call. They ask that boaters do the same with the life jackets as well as locator beacons, so everybody has a safe holiday weekend. We're now reporting in Savannah, Andrew James, WSAV News 3.
Continuing coverage now, still no sign of the missing boaters on Tybee Island. Friday night, the Coast Guard called off the search for the boaters missing since Tuesday. The Coast Guard found the fishing vessel Miss Debbie Tuesday, but no people were found with the vessel.
We were flying over Savannah, and I waved, "Hey, Pops!" Well, come to find out, that was my last hey. That was kind of neat. Only the living suffer, so now a nation mourns with me.
The son of legendary singer Greg Allman played a tribute concert in Northampton Sunday night to honor his father's memory. Michael Allman says he found out about his father's death Saturday night while flying to that performance. Greg Allman died Saturday at his home here in the Savannah area after a prolonged illness. He was 69 years old.
Coming up, a new plan to help those with autism in South Carolina. Find out how a downward-facing dog could make a big difference. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 at 5:30.
Savannah was absolutely the best place to put a museum because this is where the first prohibition in the whole country was, even before we were a country.
And now Savannah is the first and only place in the U.S. with a state-of-the-art museum dedicated to the Prohibition era, when alcohol was named public enemy #1. We take a closer look at 6.